Guys and girls, I have breaking news. President Trump just announced that he's delaying the tariffs by 90 days to non-retaliating countries and lowering the tariff to basically 10% across the board, apart from China. So he increased the tariffs to 124%, and markets are pumping because of this news. So stay tuned. And by the way, if anybody is just joining this channel from the Benjamin Cohen video, thank you so much for subscribing. It means the absolute world. Let's see if we can get this video to 500 likes. So destroy the like button and let's jump straight into the Bitcoin price action and look at the breaking news. So going here first actually to the breaking news tweet, you can see that President Trump over on Truth Social posted that there is now a 125% tariff on China, and still, like, because of this tariff and because global supply chain still relies on China very much, markets aren't pumping incredibly compared to how much they've dumped, but still tech stocks are rallying 15% across the board. Tesla up 15%, Nvidia up 15%, Amazon up 15%, and there's now a 90-day pause and a lowering to 10% of reciprocal tariffs for other countries effective immediately. Like, it's insane how they can play with people's business decisions and what they want to do. But the funniest thing of all was that 3 hours ago, President Trump actually told people, everyone on Truth Social and Twitter, to buy everything now, that it's a good time to be buying. And we spoke about it over on the Moon Show. And I was scared. I was skeptical first because the last time a Trump told people to buy something, prices went down. Eric Trump. So yeah, it's insane. He told people to buy the dip, and 3 hours later, he decided to put a 90-day delay, which, by the way, the White House said it was fake news yesterday when it happened. And now markets are pumping. So I'm a bit lost, guys. We're going to check. Okay, breaking news. What does it say? Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says it was President Trump's decision to wait until today and is not because of market reaction. So, okay, that's literally breaking news. That means they knew they were going to do this. Man, I don't know. This just looks a lot like market manipulation. But let's have a look into the price chart. And guys, by the way, if you want to be trading cryptocurrencies, because I am in long positions, obviously there are very small long positions over on weeks. I've been just scaling throughout this dip, and we've been talking about why I think it's a good idea to be buying this dip. So I'm going to slowly scale into these long positions. And the time when I'm going to go fully into these longs, or if we go to the chart and daily time frame, you can see that there's still a huge descending trend line on the top margin. So let me just go to TradingView very quickly and show you what I'm talking about. Oops, let's go to TradingView. There we go. Charts, and we don't want to go to Solana. Bitcoin USDT. So on the daily time frame, you can see that there's still a trend line at the top upwards downward sloping trend line that is keeping the trend in a bearish momentum for Bitcoin. But I don't know why the Wi-Fi isn't working. There we go. Okay, so this is the daily time frame. You can see that there is a trend line that's descending and keeping this Bitcoin trend in a bearish sentiment. So until we flip this trend, I'm not going to go massive into my long positions, but I am scaling in due to all of the reasons that I've spoke about in previous videos. I think, the Fibonacci retracement, the inverse head and shoulder retest on the weekly time frame, the bullish divergence here on the daily time frame, these are all very good reasons to be going long. Again, not with maximum leverage, but to be adding to Bitcoin positions. I think it's a fantastic, phenomenal buy the dip opportunity. Bitcoin up 6% in the past 24 hours. Ethereum back to 1.6, an 8% pump. XRP pumped by 13%. Dogecoin 11%. Solana by 118%. Sorry, $118 now. Solana. If you guys remember, I made a video here saying Bitcoin fire sale, I'm buying now. And this was literally the bottom. So it's super important that you watch every single video, turn on the notification bell, and not miss any single update. Look, you can't always time the top or bottom. And guys, by the way, if you want to trade cryptocurrencies, link is down below for weeks. If you sign up 2 weeks using this link, which takes literally 30 seconds to do, there's a chance you can get airdropped 10 to 100 USDT for literally doing nothing, only binding your phone number to your account. That's all you have to do. So link is down below if you want to be trading crypto, and if you want to be adding to your long positions or opening any new long positions, because again, I think it's a fantastic time to be doing that if you don't have any Bitcoin or crypto longs at the moment. what was I saying? Look, the only thing that you can do in trading is to, or in investing overall, is to understand when it's a good time to be buying, right? When you go to the S&P 500, you can clearly see that we were retesting a phenomenal level of support. So when you go to SPX, you can see that the S&P tested to where we were back in 2021 and now is rebounding beautifully. It could be, we could be creating a lower high and keep the trend in a bearish direction, which is fine. But clearly a bounce from this line of now support 4.8 was beautiful. It was a great time to be buying. It was a great time to be dollar cost averaging for the long term. And as investors, you cannot time the exact bottom, which, I mean, we kind of did. What you can do is you can just find the times where buying these assets are at good value. You can tell when something is undervalued. So if you go to Apple, I think we're up 15% on Apple, but Apple was dumping massively. What was the ticker symbol for Apple? I swear it was, let's go to Apple Inc. Okay, we should be pumping. Hopefully we should be pumping. Yeah, there you go. Wow, massive pump from 160 up to 191. So you can tell, and there's a huge gap, by the way, which will likely fill at 216. You can tell when it is a good time to be investing into an asset, when you can, dollar cost average and enter into your holdings. You can tell based off of multiple different factors. So this time, it was definitely a good time to be buying. I think Bitcoin held up very well in comparison to how the market is done overall, how traditional finance is done. I think we've held up very, very well. And if tariffs even get worse, if President Trump changes his mind, then it doesn't matter because Bitcoin cannot be tariffed. Bitcoin is a digital good. It cannot be tariffed. That's why buying Bitcoin, accumulating as much as you can, is a very good idea. And don't think it's too late. $81,000, still super cheap. And actually, if you include inflation, the all-time high at $69,000 in 2021 is actually equivalent to $81,000 when you factor in inflation. So buying in today means that you're buying into Bitcoin with all of the Trump administration support, with the pro-crypto regulation, with the Bitcoin ETF, so on and so forth. So yeah, I would just definitely recommend considering some low leverage positions and scale into your Bitcoin holdings and your crypto holdings overall. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day. In the next 10 minutes, we have the FOMC minutes. That will be super crucial, like I mentioned over on the Moon Show, because the FOMC minutes will show when the Fed is wanting to cut rates. And when we get that FOMC minutes, I'll share it on the Telegram community. I'll share it on Twitter, so stay tuned for that. And with that said, guys, enjoy your evening. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video very soon. Take care, and as always, bye-bye.